Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammy Gibbs. I'm Tammy, and today I am going to be trying to help you get a little better organized inside Artistly 5. As everyone knows, and I'm just going to pop in here and show you, it's in under your personal designs. There is this new notice. Important, your personal designs will be available for 365 days from the moment they are created. Please download your images to have a local or cloud backup if you need access to them beyond 1 year. This does not apply to the Flipbooks feature. Okay, so basically, this is something we probably should have been doing all along, and I have been doing it probably not as well as I should have, because doing the videos, I create a lot of images, and they're good images and I want to catalog them, but basically it's just really hard for while I'm doing the videos to stop, save the prompts. So I still have to go back and do it. So I'm kind of in a mess too. And I have a lot of images that I have already done this with. A lot of my earlier images, when I found out they were upgrading and updating to a new version, I went in and already did all of those. But it is super confusing. And if you don't, there's no real logical separation. It used to be that there was a search feature so we could kind of search and make sure we were getting certain subjects or whatever. And I feel like they'll add it back in eventually, but they've been putting out so many features. I know they've been really tied up with that. So today, what I want to do is introduce you to my version, and I've done videos before on my prompt keeper. It's called the prompt keeper. Well, when this popped up, I got busy and I actually sort of redesigned. My prompt keeper was designed for practically anyone that's using any type of platform to be able to save their prompts. And it's more or less just a convenience. I used it on a couple of my videos and showed people about saving them. And then I had so many requests of people want me just to share my template so they didn't have to build one. So this is one of those products that was just kind of asked for. I already did it, and so I just turned it into a product because I had the request. So I went back in, and when I started saving this time, I decided I wanted a little bit more information because getting thousands and thousands and thousands of images like I've created, to be able to go back and really effectively see what I have and catalog it, then I knew I wanted to put some things in place. And it's going to take some time, but once I get it done, it's going to be so much better organized. So I'm kind of combining a couple of things. So for all of you, I'm going to be introducing the Artistly edition of the Prompt Keeper. Now, for any of you that have already purchased that template, today what I'm going to do is also show you a quick little bit how you can go in, and as you know, you can take the little template sheet and you can make it's on Canva, so you can just add and duplicate those pages. Well, I'm just going to show you how to go in and you can just make this simple adjustment without having to buy the Artistly edition, and you can just adapt the one you already have. Now, if you don't have the original Prompt Keeper, for you, I actually have got multiple pages of both of the templates, the original one and the other one. This one is like $1 more expensive because it has both in it. Felt like that was a fair pricing because there may be some people that don't feel like they need the other template. Excuse me. So, anyway, let's just go in and talk about the organization and the steps. So, this is how I have started doing it because it gets really confusing. And I'm going to give you just a few of the tips and the ways that I've tried to sort of. I wish they had like a bookmark feature, or if you downloaded it, the background around would be a different color or something. Yash, if you're listening, developers, if you're listening, that would be super cool to have, and we could categorize that way, and we would know that we'd already downloaded that image. But we don't have that now, so we have to figure out how to work around it. So, okay. So, first off, I've got a bunch of images that I have done. And just to make it simple and not pick and choose, normally, if it's something I don't think I'll do anything with, now some of them I may have to go in and edit a little bit or do something, and that's fine. It's just simpler to go ahead and try and do them. You're able to download 20, I think it's 25 images at a time or something like that. But I just instead am going to do, or maybe it's 26 images. Anyway, I normally just do 24 because it doesn't break it. I don't have to figure out, and I know that there's just another 4 images that I have to do. So the first thing that I started doing was, and we're just going to start. So let's just say we're going to start with 1, and I don't know if it's going to let me do a dash. I think it will. 1 dash, and then we're going to put, this is basically going to be, I'm going to say Cottage Core Kids is what I'm going to name it. Okay. So I'm going to add, I'm also going to put the date that I'm downloading, the 8, and it's the 8th of 25, and another little dash. And then I'm going to put archive. Okay. So I'm going to add this folder if it lets me. Yes. Okay. So it let me with the dashes and everything. So, all right. I also wish, and here's my wish list for developers, that the newest folders would jump up, or that you could rearrange them or whatever. It does actually have now where you can edit. I just noticed this. So I didn't realize that we could do that now. So that's actually very, very, very helpful. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start my process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've set up a folder. Yes, so put a P for prompts so that we've already put them in the prompt keeper or wherever you don't have to buy my thing. You can definitely just make your own, but like I said, it's just there as a resource and to show you kind of how you can set it up. And if you want to save the time and you've got a few bucks, then definitely buy it and save yourself a little bit of time. But anyway, okay, so now we have that set up. So we have all of the little cottage core kids. We're going to go and open that one up. Okay, so we're inside that one. So our next step is, and I think I was telling you I have an external hard drive, so I'm going to move them onto the external hard drive, and we're going to bulk download now, and then we'll do the same process that we did before, and we can also only do those around the same number. 24 will be where we cut that off. And now these are going to be saved into zip files. So we're going to need to then go in and gonna download those. Okay. And I'm going to open up another tab just so that I don't mess up that one. I don't want to lose my place. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to actually do it like this. Let's see. All the way down here. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to copy this name and go back over here. Okay, so we're going to go into my files now under my downloads, and here is our zip folder for I have gone in already and named it A1 because there's going to be more than one of these zip files, and we need to sort of distinguish them so we know, okay, this was the A grouping we did, B grouping, whatever. So it helps it, but it has the date, it's an archive and all of that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, and on my computer it may be different. I have a Windows computer and it is Windows 11. And this is my expansion D. I started doing archives here. And so I'm going to be filing it under here with some other archives that I've done. So what I'm going to do is I will select this. I'm not going to extract it until I pull it over into here. So what I'm going to do is my process for Windows 11 is I have to click the little scissors for cut. I do not like this. It makes me very nervous, but this is the process for moving the file over. And I want to move it as a zip and just move it off of my computer so that it's not taking up a lot of room and I don't get confused. So I'm going to click the cut. It's going to do like that. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on the archive. And then I'm going to come and do the paste. And it's going to paste that right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to actually go in here and go to the rename just to highlight it. I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to create, just to make it a little simpler since we have more than one. And I know this may seem complicated, but this whole process is not easy. So we're going to do this as a folder, and then I'm going to drag all the zip folders into it. So now we have the zip folder and it's inside our main folder. So now we will be working within it. It'll just make it easier for me to find where I need to put those. Okay, so now we're going to go back into Artistly and we're going to download more. So we're going to pick up where we left off. And if you don't want to have to count, all you have to do is pick that last row and then start, and then you'll know to stop on the last row before it tells you to download more. If you kind of want to do it the no-brain way like this. Okay, just keep an idea of this in case something happens. Now, download selected as a zip. Okay, it says 25, so I have to... Somehow it got off, and I've got 2 rows now that I have to remember to do. Not sure why. Okay. So there's that one. And we're going to go over here. We're going to go to the downloads, and we're going to refresh so that it shows, and make sure this is this one. Then we're going to go here, and we're going to rename it. And I'm going to paste in that. And then this one's going to be B. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do this. Go into down here. We're going to find the Cottagecore Kids. And then this is where we're going to paste that one. So we've got A1 and B1 now. And we haven't opened any of them yet. They're just in their zip form. We're going to go back. And this time we have to, it's kind of got us where we got to do the bulk download again. And we're going to have to start with this one because we stopped there. 1, 2. Load more. 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what's going on with that. I think it's adding more. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Go back over, go up to downloads. And okay, so for some reason we need to I'm not sure why that. I'm gonna Cottagecore Kids. Okay. I'm just gonna. I don't know why it was not available for me to paste in anymore. I'm not sure why, but I lost my copy of that. Okay, so now we're going to go back in, rename it, paste it, and this will be C. And we're going to find the Cottagecore Kids, paste it in there, and we have C1. Go back in here, and I left off where the castle was, so that's where I'll pick back up. And we're getting pretty close to the end of these. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Downloads. And again, it's not letting me paste that in. I'm sorry. I got to figure out why. Okay, so let me do something. Take just a second to do my sticky notes here. And I'm going to paste it here so I don't have to. All right, now I won't have to do that again. Sorry about that, y'all. Sometimes things just, you run into little issues you just have to work through. So we're going to go to Cottage Core Kids. Okay, so what I didn't do was I didn't change it under here. So let's go back to the folder. We need to make that D. So we'll make this a D. There we go. Okay, now we can do it. Just go down here. And it's going to, like I said, it's going to take you a while to get your system. This is just the way I'm doing it to keep up with it. And like I said, I will give you some ideas on how you can prevent having to do this now that, and some of you may have already done that actually. You may not have to go in and do this step because you may already have all your stuff in folders. But just in case you don't. Okay. And now we go back to our downloads and rename and copy this and paste it. And we're going to replace this with a D. Or should it be an E? It may be supposed to be an E. Let's look. Yep, it's got to be an E. Easy to lose track if you've got multiples, which it would be a lot easier if they could make it where we could download into a larger zip at one time. And then we could, delete them or whatever. But for some reason, they have us cut with like the 25 at a time. I'm not sure why. Okay, so this is the last one that will be moving. And there we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these archives inside our main one, our Cottage Core Kids. Okay. So now what you can do is, you can go in and you can unzip them. You can tell that they have stuff in them because of the size of them, so they should be fine. But you can leave them zipped up or you can unzip them. I will be unzipping them so that I can actually see them all, you know. And so I'm going to show you just an idea of how what you can do to kind of maybe make a printable guide. This would be online in line with potentially like my listing template, how I do that, and I have the idea guide, and then inside I have a catalog of my images. Okay, so I'm going to show you. And by separating these, so that you can kind of see, you can work all the way down the list, extracting them and knowing, okay, this file, kind of C1. Okay, cancel. Okay, so we're not wanting to do that. So A1, B1, okay. C, extract all. D, extract all. And E, extract all. Okay, depending on how much room you have, I have a really big hard drive, so I don't mind doing it this way, but if you wanted to, you can leave them separated, but you're not going to be able to have them all in one kind of image to be able to tell what's what. So I'm going to leave them for now, and then I'm going to show you how you can easily make a little catalog. So I'm going to use my snipping tool. I'm going to snip all of these and I'm going to copy them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Canva and I am going to, go to Canva. And I am going to do a flyer size and create a catalog. Okay. I'm going to paste this into here and make it a little bit bigger. And then I will have all my images like this. Now, this is not going to have our prompts, but it will allow me to know what is in what folder. So I don't have to put them all in one thing to scroll through. I can create a little notebook. You might want to offset over a little bit to the side here. And what I'm going to do to make it easy to keep up with is I'm going to name this one. I'm just going to paste this here. Okay, so we have Cottagecore Kids, and this is C1, because this is the C1 one, Cottagecore Kids. So then this is going to be, I will do D1, this isn't C1, this is actually A1. A1. Okay, so you want to name it exactly what it is in your folder. You want to offset it just a tiny bit. Another thing that we can do, and it actually may be better, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can. Canva's great for so many things. A lot of people really stress paying for Canva Pro, but Canva Pro is such a huge tool. And I have paid for a lot of tools that there we go. That's much better. We can now make it larger and we can do like one per thing. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's how we're going to set it up. And what we're going to do is, instead of having to retype and paste that, we're going to make a copy of this now. We're going to duplicate this page, and then we'll do the same when we go through the other ones. So we're going to go now into the B, go back into our snipping tool. It's all about your tools, folks. If you have the right tools, you can do so many things, and never stress paying for good tools. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to paste this on, and actually, I've got an easier way. So we're going to set this up now. I'm going to do away with that. I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab a frame, and I'm going to make this where it's even easier to do. I'm going to make a frame here, and then I'm going to paste. First, I'm going to change this to a B so it matches with my folder. Okay. And then I'm going to paste this into here. So that one's not, the size is not right. So I'm going to have to go down a little bit and then come out. And then we'll get it where it's fitting just right. And then we'll leave it. Okay. So now we have this. This is now going to be easily where we can drag and drop it in. And now we can make it as big as we can, but now it's sized to what we're doing. Okay, so now we have what's in the B file. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate this again, and now we have the frame, so we can just drag and drop from our paste. Okay, I hope I'm not losing you or confusing you. Okay, so now we're going to go back into the file and go to the C, grab our snipping tool, and do the same thing. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting a 3-ring binder, and I probably am going to use sheet protectors and just slide these in the sheet protectors, and that way I'm able to use the sheet as large as I can, the images as large as I can get them. They're still going to be kind of more tiny. You're not going to be able to see a lot of detail, but it is definitely going to be able to allow you to have these thumbnails that you can kind of flip through and be able to tell what folder it's with. And then we can also do our prompt keeper the same way. We can reference these particular we won't be saving the prompts for all of these individuals, but we can tie them to the folder and the images and what they look like. So it's just to keep it organized. Copy that, and then go back over here, and all we've got to do now is change this to a C, and we're going to paste it and drag it there, and it just fills that space. We're going to duplicate the page again. I'll go ahead and make this a D up here just while we're there. And then we're going to go back into our file, go up and do D, snip, choose the little plus sign. I love that snipping tool. If you have Windows 11, you have that. Copy it, go back over here, paste. There we go. See how easy that is? If you get a good template going, you just save so much time. It takes you a few minutes to set it up. We're on our last one, E of the Cottagecore Kids. And let's go back up to E. So now in this file, we have our zip file in case we do need that, but we also have the we have the unzipped ones as well, so they're easy to get to. Okay, let's go back over here, and this is E, so we're just going to paste it and drag it. And this one had one extra row, so there may come a time where you have to do like I did before, like make your frame a little bit smaller and then fit it in. And you'll just have to adjust it from the sides and everything. So there we go. Okay, so that fits them in. And so now we've got that whole set. This is the archive for it. And you can either just do it like this and keep it separated. You can keep going and just rename. I'm probably just going to keep going and adding to this one. So I will go here and I will duplicate this page. And then I have this set up for the next set that I will do. And I'm just going to put start here so that I know that this is just my base here, more my template page, and this is not part of that set. Okay, so I've showed you how to do that. So now you have some thumbnails. Now you can get sheet protectors. You can begin to. I have found that while digital is amazing and we're all doing digital products, when it comes to keeping up with the actual images and designing, like if I want to design for a I guess for a invitation or another product, if I can sit down and actually flip through a book to see the art, it's so much easier than going through all those folders. And if you're really smart and you go ahead and you designate these things, you label them and organize them that way, then you can actually keep up with it, because now we know that all we have to do is go to D1 and we will find these images. So now it's tied to where we can actually find these images. So it's not like they're lost on our hard drive anymore. Okay, so we've got that. So then we get to the actual keeping of the prompts. And this is how I have amended my process. Now we are also inside of, I'm going to go back into that one, the Cottagecore Kids. And I'm going to start with the little boys, because the little boys all have the same prompt. Okay. So we're going to be working from this page right here. And I'm going to use this one because he's a good example of what it's going to look like. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to open up my new prompt keeper. And this is where it differs, how I'm going to show you the two different ones. So this is the old version, which is fine. And this is the new version right here. Okay. So I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to be working with that. This is kind of my example at the top. So I'm just going to leave that. And I'm going to put up here Artistly 5, because it's all within Artistly 5. It's going to say it anyway, but you can use these notes for anything you want to. For the notes section here, I'm going to actually go over here and I'm going to get our title here, and I'm going to put this in the notes section. Well, I think I'm going to put it in the notes section. Hang on, let me get it where I can see it. And okay, sorry about that. I think you have to make your own. I think I've got it connected somehow. Okay, now you're going to, okay, so this is going to be our Cottagecore Kids, and we're going to take away because it's the Cottagecore Kids. So we don't need the other designation, because all of these are going to be from the Cottagecore Kids. And we don't really have to designate. It's going to tell us here this. We're going to know to go to this archive to find those. Um, you could break it down and you could maybe list which of those prompts go with which. I don't see it's necessary because you're not going to be working from this to download. You're going to be working from this to copy your prompt and then go from there. So, all right, I'm going to have to go back into Artistly, copy this again because now this is a long one. So I'm going to show you inside here how you deal with it going outside. You see that it's much longer than what the space allows. Okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go down and we're just going to keep reducing the size until it fits our space because it doesn't matter. We don't have to read this. All we have to do is copy and paste it if we want to use that prompt, right? Okay. So all I do is reduce it down. It can be super tiny to fit this space. If you want to do it a different way, you can amend it however you want to, or you can make yours however you want to. I'm going to go back over to Artistly. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the image. And I've tried this a lot of different ways. I tried downloading it and then uploading it. It's too much trouble. And on Canva, actually you're uploading these images at the same time, so they are going to show up because it's just when you paste them in, they're going to upload them. It's going to upload anyhow. So now we're going to go back over here, and these are frames to make it easy to drag and drop these images. So we've got this, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't show the full image. That doesn't bother me. I know that if I want to see it, I can ungroup it and I can adjust it where I see the full thing. It's not that big a deal to me to see the full image. I just want the style and what the subject is, basically. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, in this next square, what makes it different is we're going to go in and we're going to use our snipping tool again. And this is going to give us that information about it. Now, see, this is going to tell us where inside Artistly these images are stored. So we're going to take, okay. So it's going to tell us the aspect ratio, the dimensions that it was created in. It's going to show us the folder, which designer tool we used. We used Artistic. So this is going to show us all of that. And I would appreciate if you're going to, a lot of people I know are kind of like taking, when I show some of my props on here, please change them up because that's the way Etsy and all the other platforms. If you're going to use it, don't create exactly like mine. I would appreciate that. You can use it as a basis and you can change it and make it look the way that you want to, but just don't do them exactly the same as my prompts. Okay, so we're going to take now and we're going to go in here. We're going to paste right in there. And now we have the information. We have the design ID that's connected to this prompt and our image in there. And I'm not going to do my whole folder. I'm just going to show you that because that's all you need to know is how to do that. Okay, so I told you that I was going to basically, what makes it easier is working within the folder. So you know that that's one thing, one folder. A lot of my folders are like animals and stuff like that. And I'm going to go back through all of those because I'm going to need to download all of those images as well. But what I'm going to do is take those and reorganize them also into little segments. Like I will go back in and try to move those into other folders, even though they're all mixed up right now. That's going to take a lot of organization on mine. I hope that your folders are actually organized better than my original folders. I didn't do them specifically by I have some that are by the particular clip art series or whatever. But like when I do videos, I'm moving from different different let me try to figure out how to say this. Okay. So when I'm doing videos, a lot of times I'm creating with different designers, not platforms. And so it mixes them all up. So it makes it a little harder for me to do for my pack. Now, my packs, I can do that a little bit better that way. But as far as the other, I can't. I'll have a lot of sorting to do. But anyway, so we've got this one underway, and all now I would have to do is go back in and I can select which ones, and I'll have to go through them to see which ones. See, this is actually one where I went in and used it to correct. I used the human stylizer and I corrected this image. So those won't have prompts. Those will just, be downloaded. Okay. Well, what I was going to tell you and advise you to do is to go ahead. Most of the designers have a way for you to choose a folder before you start prompting. And if you do that, then most of the time you'll have to check it and make sure. But most of the time, if you type a prompt in and you go ahead and choose what folder you want it to create in, so create your folder setup first and then start designing. All of these allow you to select the folder. The t-shirt one, I think, allows you to choose a folder. Yes, it allows you to choose a folder. The ones in the Illustrator do not allow you to choose a folder, unfortunately. There's no folder option. That would be really handy, developers, if you're watching, or Yash, if you're watching. Paul, any of you, if you could make it where we could choose a folder for that to go into as well, that would save a ton of time in future organization. But if you go ahead and design into those folders, then you save a step of having to move it there. So that's a really interesting and time-saving tip or hack. But some of the different designers don't allow you to do that. Now, I'm just going to say that I wish that they would go ahead and allow us to be able to organize this a little bit better and download from here, like be able to select them all. Right now, the only way you can do this, if you have not already downloaded them, the only way you're going to get your prompts is to click through to the little prompt saver right here. So if you're designing in the Artistly Advanced Designer, I really hope that you've already taken and started, you did them along as you went, because it's going to be really hard to go back in and grab all those prompts. That is going to take even more time than under the fast. So I'm hoping that they will come up with a better way to get your prompts and your images downloaded and everything from advanced. But so far they have not. So we just have to work with what we have. Okay, so before I go, I almost forgot to do this, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you how, if you already own the original Prompt Keeper, how you can set up by just using this same grid I already have. We're going to take and just move this up. I'm going to ungroup it, move it out of the way. We're going to do the same thing here and ungroup it and move that out of the way. This one we're going to ungroup, and we're going to move this out of the way, and then we can actually just do this. Let's ungroup this one and we can move there. Okay, so basically that's as simple. It's really simple. You can even, oops, I have a bad habit of doing that. Okay, so we can just take these now and we can delete them out of the way. we can copy these and we can reduce it down here, and we would be able to then just take them like this. So you can take that. If you don't have the new one, you don't have to buy that one. You can just go in and edit your create one, just one page. You'll do this one time, and it's super simple. Group those, duplicate, drag it down, duplicate, as many times as will fit on your page. And now you have your own. Then you can go up and you can do this, just make as many copies as you want to. So that's a way you can use the same thing, do a few one little modification, and move the things I have on there already around to reflect this, and then you don't have to pay for an extra one just for Artistly if you want to start incorporating that information, like I show in the video. So thank you for watching. Remember that my AI artist playbooks, the best-selling playbooks, are available on Gumroad, and they're available on Etsy. If you're in the EU, purchase through Gumroad. And there is a code. It's in the description. Summer 50 right now. That's the one that's current. So if it's current, then it'll work. And if not, then it won't. Sorry. I don't know when you're going to be watching this. Could be 6 months in the future. And if you're also on Gumroad is the Junk Journal edition. That one is also exclusively available on Gumroad. If you are purchasing on Etsy, then any discounts have already been reflected in sales. So you'll see how much that is. You won't have to type in a code. And so trying to think if you don't have Artistly, then of course my affiliate link is down in the description as well. And I'd love for you to join my Facebook group and join my newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter. Both of those items are free and just extra help for you if you're in the digital product space. And I'd love to have you. Be sure and subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when I upload new videos. And like and please share the video. And until next time, happy creating.